welcome to Live Tantra. Today, I'm going to be talking about the situation in Ukraine that, of course, we're all aware of, and actually looking at it from a perspective of the therapeutics and how to start healing in this global traumatic situation. And so today, I'm going to be chatting with my own teacher, Giten Tonkov, who taught me in the amazing biodynamic breathwork trauma healing work that he leads in some of it. And he's actually from Ukraine, and he's currently running an incredible program. So if you're one of those people that's been wondering what you can do to help, then join this call and have a listen to this. So Giten, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Shashi. Thanks for having me.
You're currently in Warsaw, right? You were in Poland.
Yes, I'm in Warsaw right now. We actually finished our biodynamic breathwork and trauma training here in Poland about a month ago. And then we came to Warsaw, Nisarga, and I to establish a hub for Ukrainian refugees to work with trauma. And as many of you know, that right now there is about over 2 million people that are in Poland that came from Ukraine, and there's over 1 million, I think, in Warsaw alone of Ukrainian refugees. And these people brought with them from Ukraine a lot of trauma. And we're here right now supporting them with workshops to release this trauma. And it's been an incredible journey, tough and emotional and rewarding in so many ways. I have worked in the last month more than I have worked in a very, very long time, concentrated organizing this project, getting it started, and creating a new structure to be taught to people, because it's a very specific approach. Most people that arrive here arrive with acute trauma.
I was thinking about that, because the trauma work we're doing, we're not like in the trauma, but the people who are coming to you are still in shock, right? And the trauma is still going on. So can you tell us a bit about that? You designed a whole new program, huh?
Yes, we had to design a very special approach to working with acute trauma, since people, like you just said, people arriving left everything behind with bare minimum. Mostly it's women and children and elderly. They left their men behind. So all men between the age 18 and 60 had to stay behind in Ukraine and provide for the country and resistance. So there is a lot of trauma, separation, about not feeling safe, around people not knowing where their loved ones. It's just a lot of activation. So we had to devise this program for working with acute trauma, which is super soft approach, and bringing people back into the body from being frozen, from being activated. Some of them are acute PTSD. So it's a very specific approach that when we ran 5 pilots with the Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw, as well as Polish aid workers. People that house refugees, people that work with them, providing food and shelter. So it's been quite a journey. So
it's so good that you're working also with the aid workers, because of course they're the ones that have to keep going back and dealing with the new people coming in. And I know from working in trauma in the way that I do, that you as a facilitator need to get resourced so that you can go back in and do more work. So this is amazing that you are making spaces to work with them. And then, Giten, I'm assuming that you actually have a lot of your own teachers, people who you have trained in already there in Poland, right? Because you've been working there for a long time, and Nisarga's from Poland. So is that you have a team? You have teams there, I'm guessing. Oh, it's frozen for one.
Yes. Yes, we have been running biodynamic breathwork and trauma release training here in Poland for the last 8 years.
Wow.
And over the 8 years, we trained a lot of Polish practitioners, and many of them are now providing this service and teaching the classes. So we set up this hub in Warsaw, and I'm actually leaving at the end of this week after a month being here, and we're handing over the operations of the club of the hub and conducting of the sessions to our Polish team. Nisarga is staying for a few weeks longer in Warsaw to oversee the project, and we will continue to train the practitioners to deliver this new structure to work with refugees. So we devised a very simple structure, but it's super effective. So people can actually take this structure and practice at home, even after doing it a couple of times. So it's not just people come and receive help there. They're taught techniques. They're very valuable techniques that can be done at any time, and that they can teach these techniques to others. So it's not something that can only be done once they're in the group room, but they can continue practicing. And this is what the beauty of it. And it needs to be done in a very soft way, not to overcharge, not to overstimulate, so they don't slip back into this trauma vortex, but actually feel and come back to their body. And we've been having an amazing feedback from participants. It just after one class, people feel that, wow, something deeply shifted in me. And then we set them up with how to identify and use their external resources, how to connect this external resources into their body, how to identify internal resources. But for some that are very traumatized, very activated, a few more sessions are needed. We had some teenagers come also, like in the last class, we had 3 teenage girls, I think between 14, 15 years old. And that was amazing to see these teenagers come some of them left their parents behind, and they're here in Warsaw by themselves, being hosted by Polish local families. It's really heartbreaking, and at the same time inspiring, that for me as a trauma practitioner to be able to help these people. It feels like I've been training for this my whole life, and this is a project that I want to continue.
I mean, just amazing that you were there, you were doing a training already in Warsaw, like it feels like all the pieces, and that you're from Ukraine and Nisarga's from Poland, like all the pieces are there for you to be the right people at the right time. And, listening to you, I'm just getting such goosebumps, because this is the only way out, is to heal the trauma. Like the whole war situation is just trauma, propagating trauma, and creating more trauma. So this is what we need to really change the situation, is trauma healing. And I love that you've gone for simple techniques that people can then go and show others, so that it can ripple faster through the societies and through all of the refugees that are gathered there. It's really, it's so amazing. Actually, I saw on Facebook what you were doing, and I wrote, I wish I could be part of that, because that feels like, we can feel so powerless when these things happen. And like question, what can we do? And yet this is something really, really helpful that will really make a difference to so many people's lives. So I'm so glad that you were there and that this is happening. So can you tell us a bit, for the people who are listening and watching now, how they can support and be a part of this and support this great project?
Yes, absolutely. Anyone can support. And right now we started crowdfunding campaign to keep this hub in Warsaw open. It requires support from everyone who can possibly help. We need donations to pay for rent, to pay the practitioners that are offering sessions, to keep the staff. It's until I didn't realize how big this project is until we actually started doing it. So Nisarga and I, we funded it with our own money to start with, but now we need support to keep it going. So there is a crowdfunding campaign that we launched. It's actually launching tomorrow officially, but it's already open, the link to donate. And I will share the link with you, Shashi, and you can share it with anyone that wants to support us. This is really helping out a lot of people. And some of this money also will go to for scholarships for Ukrainians that actually want to train in biodynamic breathwork and trauma release and then take it back to Ukraine. Because sooner or later, all these refugees will go back to Ukraine. So we want to, it doesn't end here. We need to train Ukrainians to take this work back home with them so they can support others. We don't want this, like you said, this trauma keeps perpetuating each other, and it will take years to heal it. And we want to support people now.
Yeah. Oh, this is so amazing. I'm so happy that you're doing this. And I know that so many of our listeners here on Live Tantra are going to resonate with this, because it's, you know, it's like not just giving fish, but giving a fishing rod, you know, that whole saying of like not giving a starving man a fish, but a fishing rod. It's really, you know, like the kind of support that I know many of our listeners and followers are going to want to be part of. And, you know, the fact that you're one of my great teachers, and I've really seen the incredible effect of your work, and Nisarga, like such incredible work. So I can really stand by this and say to people, this is really worth supporting. This is going to make a big difference. So I'm wholeheartedly standing with you myself. I will support myself, and invite other people here on Live Tantra to be part of this change.
Yes. Thank you so much
for all that you're doing.
Yeah, it's
I
really
hope that you get some resourcing now after this really busy first month that you've had, because I know also as the trauma therapist that you also need to be able to resource and rebuild your own personal energy supply. And I'm sure it's also very emotional being connected to your motherland. Thank you so much for the work that you do.
Yeah, and thank you, Shashi, for spreading the word, and thank you everyone else who's been seeing this interview. Donate. Your help is really needed and appreciated.
Yeah, thank you so much. And to everyone listening, I'm also going to share some videos that Giten's going to send to me so you can see a little bit of the work that they're doing. So please find the links wherever they're posted next to this video. And it would also really help if you can share this video with others that want to really make a positive change to this situation. Thank you so much for taking time out of it all to talk with me today. And I wish so many blessings on this project.
Thank you, Shashi.